I'm going to discuss 10 specific hands and how they're played in the game 9-6 jacks or better. If the hand you're dealt is unsuited, open-ended straight, such as 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, you would opt to choose the pair of sevens instead of the open-ended straight. There is, however, one exception. The exception is if, for example, you're dealt unsuited, 10, jack, queen, king, 10. Instead of holding the pair of tens, the non-paying pair, you would hold 10, jack, queen, king, unsuited, because you could back into a paying pair. That is the only exception to that rule. If you have the option between holding a 4-card flush or a non-paying pair, you will always, with no exceptions, hold the 4-card flush instead of the non-paying pair. For example, if you have the 2, 5, 7, 8 of spades and another 2, instead of holding the pair of 2s, you would hold the 4 spades. That is always going to be the case. If you're dealt a flush, but you have 4 cards to a royal flush, you always hold 4 cards to the royal flush instead of the dealt flush. The adage that some people will throw at you, never throw away a winning hand, is not true in this instance. The same is true if you're dealt a straight, but 4 to a royal flush. You always go for the royal flush. Hold the 4 cards to the royal. If you have an option between 4 cards to a straight flush versus the dealt straight, you will always hold the dealt straight. The 250 coin payout, should you draw the straight flush, doesn't compensate for the coins that you would have lost. If you have the option between holding a 5-card dealt flush or 4 to an open-ended straight flush, always hold the flush. Remember, a flush returns 30 coins with a 5-coin wager, and it's not worth it to go for the 250 coins for the straight flush. Hold the flush. If you're dealt a low pair versus 3 high cards, unsuited, you always hold the low pair. If you have the option between 4 to an inside straight versus 3 high cards, say unsuited 9, jack, queen, king, you would hold 4 to the inside straight instead of the 3 high cards. Now, if you have 3 to a royal as the 3 high cards, of course you would hold 3 to the royal. Where it gets a little tricky is if 2 of the 3 are to the royal and they're in any jack, king, queen combo. So if you have, say, a jack of hearts and a queen of hearts, you would hold those 2 to the royal instead of 4 to the inside straight. If 10 is one of the 2 to the royal, then you would hold 4 to the inside straight instead. So if you had, say, 10 jack of hearts, you would still hold 4 to the inside straight over any combo including the 10 for the 2 to the royal. If you're dealt 3 cards to a royal flush along with a non-paying pair, say a pair of tens and an ace, queen, king of hearts, you always hold 3 to the royal flush. Never hold the non-paying pair over 3 to the royal flush. Suppose you have an option between 3 to a royal flush versus a paying pair. In that case, you would throw away 3 to the royal and instead you would hold the paying pair. For example, if you have ace, queen, king of hearts versus a pair of kings, you would hold the pair of kings instead of 3 to the royal flush. You need to make certain that you're clear that this does not hold true when you have a progressive royal. When the progressive royal gets to a certain number of coins, then you would go for 3 to the royal flush instead of the paying pair. If you have to choose between 3 to a straight flush versus 4 to an open-ended straight, always opt to hold 4 to the open-ended straight. For example, if you have 5 of hearts, 6 of hearts, 7 of hearts, 8 of clubs, you would hold those instead of 5 of hearts, 6 of hearts, 7 of hearts. Hold 4 to the open-ended straight, not 3 to the straight flush. Make sure you understand that's 3 to the straight flush. It is not 3 to a royal flush. 3 to the royal flush, of course you would hold 3 to the royal flush. If you have to choose between 3 to the straight flush versus 2 unsuited high cards, you will opt to hold 3 to the straight flush if it has 0 or 1 gap. For example, if you have the 5 of hearts, 6 of hearts, 7 of hearts, ace of spades, queen of diamonds, you would hold the 5 of hearts, 6 of hearts, 7 of hearts. If you're dealt 5 of hearts, 6 of hearts, 8 of hearts, notice there's 1 gap between the 6 of hearts and the 8 of hearts. You would still hold 3 to the straight flush with 1 gap instead of the 2 unsuited high cards. However, if you're dealt 3 to a straight flush with 2 gaps, 5 of hearts, 6 of hearts, 9 of hearts, you would then hold 2 to the unsuited high cards. In this case, the ace and the queen unsuited would be a better hold than if you have 2 gaps in the straight flush. In the game of video poker, I cannot overemphasize the importance of gaps. If you have 2 gaps, you have a significantly lesser hand in your straight flush possibility. And if you have 1 gap, it's not as good as 0 gaps or consecutive cards. This is true not only for 9-6 jacks or better, but it's also true for deuces wild games. Very important when playing video poker to note the number of gaps between cards in a straight flush. If you want to know more about me and my work, I've written a book. It's called The Video Poker Edge, and it's written with Square One Publishing House. You'll find it on Amazon.com and at major bookstores. I also write columns for Midwest Gaming and Travel and Southern Gaming. You will see my work in the American Casino Guide as well.